right there on top of the moon. We could sit and do nothing. I wish we were bold.
I wanted to take some time this week to talk about something that's been on my mind, and if I'm being honest, is kind of always there as a mom, and that is mom guilt. And I hate to say it, but if you are a mom, you've probably experienced some form of mom guilt. I genuinely don't know how you wouldn't, but I would say that I definitely experience it quite a lot, and more than I thought that I would as a mom. I guess I didn't even really ever think about it to the extent that I do now that I am a mom, of course, because you don't think about these things until you are a mom. But mom guilt. So it's essentially feeling guilty of not doing enough as a mom. And it can come in many different forms depending on, your lifestyle or your standards or your values or expectations that you set as a mom. And obviously, the more expectations you set, more than likely, the more guilt you are going to feel if you don't then achieve or meet those standards. And we do it to ourselves. But I will also say the world that we live in definitely sets moms to this outrageous standard, whether it be like people that you follow online, showcasing their life as a mom, and then you then comparing yourself inevitably to that mom that you're watching or those moms that you're watching. And this was actually a huge reason why I chose to completely get off of Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm only on YouTube as of now, and that has been really helpful. Yes, there are some moms that I still will watch here and there on YouTube that resonate with me, but just cutting out social media has helped with this feeling of not doing enough, not being enough as a mom so much. So that would be my top tip if that's accessible to you, depending on your line of work. Cutting out social media, or at least limiting it as much as you possibly can. There's plenty of other benefits to it as well, but specifically when we're talking about mom guilt, that has been a huge thing that has helped me, because I noticed that when I was spending so much time on social media looking at other moms, I just, even without even thinking about it, would compare myself as a mom to these other moms. And what we have to remember is that we live completely different lives than these other people that we're watching. Like, no matter what, even if there are similarities, we are different people. We were raised differently. We have different lifestyles. We have different financial situations, and the list goes on. So comparing doesn't ever really make any sense, because we have different lives, and therefore we are going to live in a different life, and we're going to have different situations that come up that are going to prevent us from being able to do XYZ. So that is a huge thing that I really wanted to hone in on this video, because if you take anything from it, let it be to spend less time on social media comparing yourself to other moms if you can. I know it is a hard habit to break. It took me a long time, even before being a mom. I would compare myself in other ways. So trust me, I understand. Now, this feeling of not doing enough, not being enough, this is something I have personally struggled with long before being a mom. And I had a feeling that it would kind of trickle into being a mom as well, because I just care so much about my girls. I've made being their mom my full-time career, essentially. I stay home with them 24/7. I'm with them 7 days a week, and I've really dedicated my life to raising these girls for as long as they, need me. And I take that really seriously. I want to show up in the best way I possibly can for them every single day. And that is tough work because it's not just clocking in and clocking out. There is no clocking in and clocking out. You are on the clock 24/7, even in the middle of the night. And whether we want to believe it or not, it is the hardest job that we could possibly do, in my opinion. And I think most moms can agree with this just because of the emotional aspect, the emotional regulation that we have to do on a constant basis for ourselves and our children. That I have found has taken the biggest toll and was the biggest surprise in how challenging that is, to not only have to now worry about regulating my emotions, but helping and guiding my children to regulate their own emotions. And I'm just stepping my toes in the water on this one, as I just entered into my oldest being 2. And wow, has that brought up a whole new realm of parenting. I don't want to say struggles, but I have definitely been struggling in many ways, navigating how to work through each situation with her. And the guilt has been heavy. I have messed up so many days, and I end off the day either like crying or reflecting on things I could have done better, how I wish I would have reacted, and that has made things more difficult, because when you're constantly feeling guilty or feeling down like you messed up, then when you do it again and again and again, it kind of just piles up and you almost like lose control in a sense. You don't know how to get a handle on things because you just don't have enough time to reset. And that's what I've been working on. I have been trying to take more breaks when my husband is available. And I've really been trying to, even if I do feel guilty about taking those breaks, taking them anyway, because just small little breaks, being able to meditate or get my workout in or cook some food in the kitchen uninterrupted, that makes all of the difference. It really does. And yes, I do wish there were more of those moments, but I'm super, super grateful for the times that I do get, and I really try to make the most of them. And as cheesy and corny as it sounds, you've probably heard other moms say it really does make me a better mom when I am able to have that time for myself. And I know this is incredibly difficult. And sometimes you might even have to cut into your sleep just to be able to have that time for yourself. But it really has helped with my mom guilt, because it's given me some time for myself to reflect, to recenter, to reset, even just if it is just a little bit. And when I have that time for myself, it allows me to approach the day with a new, more positive, more uplifting mindset. And ultimately, that leads to the day going better and me feeling less guilty about things, because I was able to show up in the way that I wanted to for my children and for myself. And that is huge for me, because it just affects everything. When mom is off, everybody is off. Like, we all feel that energy. And I don't ever want to be the person that's bringing down the household. Like moms, we are like the center of everyone's world in the house. Like we really run things. And dads, you are amazing too. You guys have a huge place and role in the household as well, but I'm specifically talking about moms here. So let's just take a minute to really understand our role and how important it is, and try to cut ourselves some slack. I am saying this to myself because I truly need to hear it on a daily basis, it seems. But let's stop trying to do everything. How about we slow down and think about how we can eliminate things from our life to make our lives more joyful, more peaceful, more graceful, more slow, more present, rather than jam-packing our days and stressing ourselves out. Because I know personally, I don't even jam-pack my days with events. I spend most of my time home, and I still end up stressed, overwhelmed. So I can only imagine if I were to be adding more and more things onto my life and my days, that would increase that stress, that overwhelm, that overstimulation. And so I'm personally always looking for ways to slow down. And that has helped with my mom guilt to the max, because when I focus on slowing down and making my main focus being present with my kids and my husband, my family, everything is better. I feel better. I can take a deep breath. My kids lighten up. Their energy is different. And that is all worth it to me. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Much love, mamas.